Hi, and welcome to another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist. I am your host, Dennis Richkovsky. Some of you recognize me as the co-owner of Flip Flops Donuts, and some of you know me as your broker of real estate who specializes in waterfront and waterview properties along the Crystal Coast, especially on boat banks and in my town of Emerald Isle, North Carolina. On this channel, you will find essential information from the inside scoops on buying and selling houses to how to live with the ocean, rivers, and sounds that define the Crystal Coast. Today's episode is all about winter weather here in Carteret County. Whether you visit here occasionally or live here full time, knowing about how winter storms impact the lives of residents of Emerald Isle, the Crystal Coast, and Carteret County is a story worth telling. Before I begin, please subscribe to my video channel now or at the end of this episode. In general, weather events are a part of life here for those of us who call the Crystal Coast home. And when most people think of weather events along the coast of North Carolina, they mostly think of hurricanes. And they would be mostly right. Hurricanes, or tropical cyclones, are rotating, organized systems of clouds and thunderstorms that can interrupt our way of life from the beginning of June to the end of November. That's because hurricanes are warm core, low pressure systems. They depend on tropical or subtropical waters for their emergence, and they require the warmer air and waters of the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and the South Atlantic Ocean in summer for their growth and power. But those of us who live along the Carolina coast are also familiar with another form of cyclone, known as a nor'easter. Nor'easters derive their name from the prevailing coastal winds coming from the northeast. Like hurricanes, nor'easters rotate in a counterclockwise direction. Both hurricanes and nor'easters cause coastal erosion, flooding, and storm surges, and are associated with high-level sustained winds, heavy rain, and a threat for spawning tornadoes. Nor'easters differ from tropical cyclones or hurricanes in several ways. First, nor'easters are cold core low pressure systems that thrive in colder temperatures and waters. Second, they can occur at any time of the year, but are most frequent and most violent between September and April. Third, nor'easters usually develop only along the East Coast and in the latitudes between Georgia and New Jersey. That's because in winter, the polar jet stream transporting cold Arctic air rarely drops into Florida, and warm air from the Atlantic Ocean, courtesy of the Gulf Stream, rarely makes it to New England. And it is this collision of cold Arctic air over land and the warm air over water that creates a temperature gradient that spawns and fuels a nor'easter. Fourth, in addition to rain, nor'easters may also include sleet, snow, and blizzard conditions due to the colder air temperatures. And fifth, while the duration of a hurricane is measured in hours, the duration of a nor'easter often is measured in days. Some well-known nor'easters include the notorious blizzard of 1888, the Ash Wednesday storm of March 1962, the New England blizzard of February 1978, the March 1993 superstorm, and the Boston snowstorms of January and February 2015. Past nor'easters have been responsible for billions of dollars in disastrous coastal flooding, transportation disruptions, and loss of homes and life. Given that nor'easters can also produce dangerous conditions such as power outages, icy roads, and fallen trees, people around here in Carteret County know to prepare for nor'easters in advance by stocking up on necessities such as batteries, candles, and extra food early to avoid traveling during the worst of the storm. Fortunately, Winter weather in the form of a nor'easter is not a frequent occurrence in Carteret County. Most winter weather events in our area consist of snow flurries once or twice a year with an occasional light dusting of snow. Snow accumulations rarely exceed 1 inch during most winter weather events. That being said, Carteret County is having a stormy start to 2022. Indeed, we've experienced 3 significant nor'easters already since September. The first one occurred in November, and the rain and high winds associated with that storm canceled many Veterans Day events. The second, right after New Year's Day, resulted in heavy rain and serious coastal flooding, especially in Soundside areas adjacent to Core Sound in the Down East region of Carteret County. And this past weekend, severe weather occurred in the form of damaging winds with gusts up to 50 and 60 miles an hour, heavy rain, and power outages. In addition, coastal flooding on the order of 1 to 3 feet above ground level was expected down east along the Pamlico Sound and Core Sound. A high surf advisory also was in effect. I saw large breaking waves of 6 to 10 feet in the surf zone this morning just before dawn. Because air temperatures remained above freezing in Carteret County this weekend, rain did not change over to sleet and snow. That was not the case, however, further inland, west and north of Interstate 95. There's another kind of nor'easter, too, the nor'easter cocktail. This libation is a mix of bourbon, maple syrup, ginger beer, and lime juice. Simply combine 1 ounce of lime juice, 4 ounces of bourbon, and 1 ounce of maple syrup in a small pitcher or cocktail shaker. Add ice and stir or shake until very cold. Strain the mixture into highball glasses. Add ice and top with ginger beer. Depending on the sweetness of the ginger beer, you may want to add a little more lime juice. Garnish with a lime slice. To learn more about weather events and cocktails here along the Crystal Coast, subscribe to my newsletter by texting your email address to 919-308-2292 or sign up for my blog on my website, www.eihomesforsale.com. And subscribe to Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist on YouTube at the end of this video. Stay well and stay safe, my friends, and come on down. Please subscribe to my channel below and definitely return next week to the same bat channel at the same bat time of 9 a.m. on Thursday for yet another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist.